Hello everyone, back tuning into today's first video. I'm going to look at the ECMDF 30-day model for today's first video. So we're looking at temperature and precipitation anomalies across the UK and the whole of Europe as well for the next 4 weeks, taking us into the second half of December. So I'll get that for you very shortly, just to say that coming up later on today, we're going to have your week to 10-day video update with all of the regular features, and then tonight we're going to have the latest Christmas update. I think we're up to update number 11 now with Christmas updates, so that'll be with you tonight. We're at the Hungarian Met Office for this. A big thank you to them for supplying us with these charts. So we're going to begin by having a look at the week 1 temperature and precipitation anomalies. That takes us from the 25th of November, 1st of December. We can't show you mean sea level pressure or 500 millibar heights with this. But you get a rough idea sometimes of what the model is forecasting in terms of the overall pattern from its temperature and precipitation anomalies. So this is week 1 temperature anomaly, week 48 for the year. We're getting well on into the year now. So we've got an area of colder than average temperature anomalies to our north over Scandinavia, below average temperatures seen there. Down into the UK, we're very, very close to average. So not a particularly big deviation either way. Although I suppose a little bit on the cooler than average side, perhaps some western areas. The rest of Europe, though, looking very mild, actually. So a mild week coming up, or even quite a warmish week down across Spain and Portugal, for example. We're up to around 3 to 6 degrees below average, as we are through some parts of Italy. And then down into this southeastern corner of Mediterranean, up into the Balkans. Very, very mild there. And more widely, temperatures from sort of France to Germany to Poland, around 1 to 3 degrees above average. It's a little bit cooler over in some of these eastern parts of Europe, but then it gets very mild again as we go through to western part of Russia. So away from the far northwest, which does include Ireland and the UK, where we're either average or below average, the rest of Europe has above average temperature anomalies. Precipitation anomalies are looking like this. So for the northwestern part of Europe, which does include sort of Norway in towards parts of the UK, certainly Scotland and Northern Ireland, it's a little bit drier than average there. Also a bit drier than average over on the eastern side of Europe, but the rest of sort of northern and western Europe looking quite wet. So parts of Sweden, and then over the Baltic Sea into the far northeast, and then down into France, into parts of Portugal and northern Spain around the Bay of Biscay. Those areas are wetter than average, also looking quite wet down in towards the southeastern Med, around Greece and Turkey, while the rest of the Med is a little bit on the drier side, especially where we've got these holiday island regions through the central bowl of the Mediterranean. Looks so high pressure is going to be building in from the north. So driving average for Iceland, high pressure building down in towards the far northwest of Europe, and that sends the jet stream and the low pressures a little bit further south. So that's the reason it's a bit dry, but also a bit colder for the far northwestern corner in the week ahead. Excuse me. We go through to week 2, which of course is week 49 for the year. And we see quite a cold scene, actually, which is a big change on what the ECM was forecasting last week, when it was just very mild, a very mild, warmer than average temperature forecast for the whole of the period, really. But big changes here for week 2. Early December is now looking below average, cold and average. In most parts of Europe, you see the warmer than average temperatures are shoved off into that extreme southeastern corner. So again, around Greece, Turkey, up towards the Black Sea, above average temperatures there. And then in the very, very far northwest of Scotland and over towards Northern Ireland, those areas are drier than average. But the rest of Europe looking warmer than average. The rest of Europe is looking below average with the temperature anomaly. So we've got Scandinavia, for example, here around 1 to 3 degrees below average. Most parts of Central Europe, Germany, Poland, over towards Ukraine, around 1 to 3 degrees below average there. France is below average. Spain and Portugal below average. Most parts of Western Med up to Italy is below average too. For the UK and Ireland, we're actually near a normal. So for the far southeastern and some part of the country, it is a bit below average there, around a degree or so. Further north, it's close to average. For far north Scotland, actually a little bit mild than average. But this is a much colder week compared to what the ECM was forecasting last week. Precipitation wise, we're looking like this. So quite dry across many northern and western parts of Europe. Again, we see much of Scandinavia down to the UK and Ireland to western France, Spain, Portugal, dry than average there. Norway is a bit wetter than average, as is the far north of Scotland. And then down into the southeastern and eastern part of Europe, it's above average with precipitation there, wetter than average conditions through many eastern and southeastern parts of Europe, including Greece and holiday areas in the southeastern Mediterranean. So in this week, it looks like we would have low pressure beginning to come through here, perhaps, and then high pressure ridging through there to that sort of area, and then low pressure probably down in this southeastern part. Then we go through to week 3, which is week 50 for the year. Takes us from the 9th to the 15th of December, and again we see that this far southeastern and eastern part of Europe looks a little bit warmer than average, up into southern parts of Russia as well. We've got the far northwest, so again much of Scandinavia, just down into northern parts of the UK, Northern Ireland, looking colder than average, still quite cold there, and for Iceland too, a bit colder than average. Elsewhere, many other parts of Europe are going close to average or have no signal, essentially. So the coldest temperatures in the far northwest, the mildest temperatures in the extreme southeast. The rest of Europe, though, looking close to average with temperature anomalies or having no signal there as we go through from the 9th to the 15th of December. You have to say it doesn't look overly mild though, away from that southeastern corner. Unsettled as well, so by the time you get through to week 3, normally the rainfall signal precipitation anomaly is becoming quite weak, but actually this is a strong signal for most parts of Europe to have above average precipitation. You have northern Scandinavia looking drier than average, so presumably you've got some high pressure up here, but the rest of much of Europe looking above average with precipitation. Some of this will be rain, some could be snow, of course, as the continent is cooling down. So wetter than average through France to Germany, some parts of the UK also wetter than average too, with above average precipitation. Going over to the eastern side of Europe, a little bit above average with precipitation there as well. Down into the Med, actually looks a little bit drier, especially through this central basin of the Mediterranean. This southeastern part of the Med, again looking a little bit more unsettled there. I will think we're likely to be bringing in a jet stream, something like that, and we may have some high pressure still up here, but explains things being rather colder in this part of Europe. And then we're through to week 51 for the year, so coming towards the end of the year really, which is week 4 for our forecast period. Beginning to turn milder then. This is from the 16th to 22nd of December. Eastern Europe looking pretty mild. It's generally mild throughout across the east and the southeast of Europe. This southwestern corner, rather warmer than average too, rather mild than average through France down to Spain and Portugal. The northwest is close to average. But the UK is possibly still hinting at being rather cooler than average. It's close to that in the North Atlantic. But this does look like a little bit of a warmer week through the second half of December through most parts of Europe. A milder week there. Precipitation anomalies are weakening now. Still looks above average though, with rainfall over here in the far west and in the extreme northeast. The rest of Europe, though, having sort of average precipitation or more likely no signal, as we're up to week 4, we're into the second half of December, and the model is just losing its signal the further out that we are going. So the ECM does eventually turn things quite mild by week 4 across many parts of Europe, but this is a big change actually for weeks 1, 2, 3. This is a big change on what we had last week. It definitely looks like the ECM model has cooled things down with its forecast a lot through the first half of December. So how seriously we take that milder stuff in the second half of the month, I'm not sure. I think we need to keep a close eye on what's going on here, because this is quite a significant change that we've seen this week from the ECM month-ahead 30-day model for the first half of December. Definitely looking quite a lot colder through many parts of Europe compared to the forecast last week, which is telling us there must be a lot of unreliability going on, must be a lot of variation taking place, and the signal that we had last week for a really mild December has definitely gone this week. So we shall see. Remember, it's just a snapshot. As I always say with these long-range forecasts and long-range models, it's just a snapshot, really, of what the model is showing. So it could all look very different next week. So we just have to wait and see where this is going. But definitely this week, the ECM has cooled things down a lot for the first half of December for much of Europe. We'll be back later on with the week's 10-day video update, and then tonight we're going to have the latest Christmas update. Bit of fun this evening, seeing what the CFS is showing again for Christmas. But that's all for now, and thanks for watching.